Hello, welcome to NOLA Stamping. I'm Barb Baldwin, and today we're going to be making a 6x8 layout showcasing my Christmas tree. So I'm using up some evergreen paper from the November-December catalog, and it is the evergreen collection, so it goes along with the Christmas tree perfectly. And it's just using a couple of pieces, so it'll be perfect to use that with the Christmas tree. And I really love this paper from this paper pack. So first, we're going to cut a piece of that gorgeous pine paper that is 5.5 inches by just 7.5 inches. And so I have a base page that's going to be shortbread, and that's 6 inches by 8 inches. And then we need a couple squares. So that'll be 2 3/4 square and 2.5 inch square. And then another set that's matching that's 1 3/4 inch and 1.5 inch. Oh, and also we'll need like just a little scrap piece of white daisy for the snow globe. So I'm just conditioning the stamp before I stamp it in pine ink, and I just had a little square piece of white daisy left over. So I'm using that and then stamping that snow globe in pine ink. So it'll be green, the outlines will be green. And what I'm going to do is a cool little technique. I'm going to use the pine ink to color in the Christmas tree. And so I'm just taking a water brush. And they do say to use watercolor paper, but honestly, you're doing such a little amount of coloring that you can just use white daisy. It won't pill up too much, and I think it looks just fine the way that it is. So I'm just using a small amount of water and just lifting up some of the green ink that's on the lid of my pine ink case. And I'm just using that to fill in the Christmas tree. It's just such a small little area. So then I'm going to take some liquid pearls and fill in some of the dots with red. And then I'm going to use my gold stickles to do the star at the top. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers and sort of pull in the star so that it looks more star-shaped. You can just use the little tines, or if you have like a piercing tool, that works too, or a toothpick. And then I'm just going to use some stickles. So I think this is glisten stickles. And then I also use diamond stickles for the snow, and gold stickles for the trunk of the tree, because Christmas is nothing if not glittery, right? So it's kind of fun to be able to use all of the like little things in order to make this tree really pop. So next you're want to grab the white gel pen. I just love the way that it looks. So I'm just doing a couple little dots on the Christmas tree, and then I'm just going on some of the lines of that were left behind from the stickles and clearing those up a little bit. And anywhere like I may have made a little oops with anything else, I just use the white gel pen to clean it up. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and fussy cut out the snow globe. The stamps do come with a thin cut option, so like you can get the thin cut with these. And so like that might be an option if that's what you want to do. But I just wanted the clean look of the fussy cut. Okay, so next we're going to grab a piece of that evergreen paper. It's about 2 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And I love doing this to add just a little bit of texture to any scrapbook page. I'm taking the water brush that I had out anyways, and I'm just sort of drawing a line down the center of a piece of scrap cardstock paper. And what that does is it'll pull apart on that line that you draw on the wet line. And it just makes it so easy to just sort of add a little bit of texture exactly where you know you want the texture to be. So I'm going to set that aside to dry, and I'm going to cut all of my squares into triangles. So I'm using my paper trimmer to do that. So I want to set it up so that each one of the squares, the edge goes right on the line of the paper trimmer, that little wire. And then I put my blade down in the center and then just go swish, swish from side to side. And so then that way the corners of my triangle don't get like squished like by the blade. When you go from the center out, it just makes a cleaner cut. So you just want to make sure that it's in the right spot, and then hold down and just slice it. So now I'm going to trim a little bit of my shimmer trim because I want a smaller width of the shimmer trim. So I'm cutting 6 inches because I know my page width is 6 inches. Because originally I had thought that maybe I would put it on the page, but I decided to use it in a smaller spot. But what I love about the shimmer trim is you'll see I just put it down below, and you can actually keep it on your paper trimmer for a while, and then use it later. It just peels off easily with a fingertip, and it doesn't leave any residue or anything later. Okay, so let's start putting our page together. So I'm doing the 6x8 size for the next year or so. So I'm just going to put my 5.5 by 7.5 piece on that piece of shortbread that's 6x8. So then I'm just going to go ahead and play with the triangles. I know I want the 2 sets of triangles up at the very top, and then 2 at the very bottom, so then it sort of like evens out. But I want the larger set of triangles to be over on the side and sort of put a small sentiment inside of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just using a tape runner to just tape down. So I'm lining one set of triangles the up with the 5.5 inch by 7.5 inch, and the other one with the base page. And then I'm just going to put the larger set up at the very top, up against the top edge, and then copying that same look. And then for my little 2 texture pieces, I was going to put them over on the side of my picture, my photo, but then, I don't know, I just feel like there's not enough space, so I decided to put it underneath, and I really like how it fits and sort of elongates that area like underneath. So I'm just using a tape runner and attaching the 2 of them together, and then I'm going to attach it to the back of my photo place card, and just trim it off so that it's the same size. And I think that it came out looking pretty good. And so then I'm going to take a stamp set that I have that's like a retired one, but it has the Oh Christmas Tree stamp set. I think it's from last year or the year before. And I'm just stamping that inside the triangle. I cut up the stamp previously so that it's in its separate pieces. So you can just use a smaller stamp set. And I always find that the card making sets work better for the 6x8 layout size. So that's one thing that I really like. Being able to use my card sentiments in a different place. Okay, so let's put the photo placeholder in place. I'm using the extra 3D foam dots from a shaker foam holder, and I'm just going to use that to pop up where the photo is going to be to give the page just a little bit of dimension. And I'm just sort of putting that in my spot, making sure to leave a little bit of space on the side so that that paper comes through. And then I'm cutting up like a couple extra little pieces of the opposite side paper to use as little embellishments End up just using the one. I thought that I would use the gold twine, but then I didn't like the way that it looked. So now we're just going to use the 3D foam dots to pop up the snow globe as well. I have a page of gold glitter embellishments that are left over from a different project, and I thought that maybe some of those would work out. I do like using the stars from there. This is something that I could have cut out with my Cricut, like just a small star, but it was kind of nice to have it on the little sheet. So I just used some liquid adhesive to attach that. And I was trying to use up my other little half pine bough thing, and it just didn't work. So I might, if I do another side to it, I'll use that. I used one of the extra zip strips. I cut it in half and put some adhesive on the back of that. So I put that on the bottom, and then I printed out my picture. It's a 3 by 4 inch picture. And I print some of them at home, or sometimes I'll use like a printing service and print 2 up on a 6 by 4 piece of paper. But this is one of the ones that I did at home. So I use like a matte photo paper to get those printed out, and I just like the way that it looks a little bit better. So now I'm going to use one of my favorite things, the journaling strips. These are like adhesive already on the back, and it's just like a white daisy strip of paper in different widths. And I love that you can write on them and then just sort of cut it out and put it wherever you want. So then it's got your own handwriting on the page, which I think is pretty fantastic. You can also stamp on these, so I do that sometimes too. But what I like to do is sort of set it into the space and then write my journaling out. And then, like, you know, I messed up how you spell house, so I'm redoing that there. And I'm just sort of moving side to side, so then I know about how long to make each journaling strip. And then I'm just using my scissors to cut those little strips out, and then I'm setting them up on the page, and they just stick right on there. It's so easy. I love it. Like, this is one of the genius things I didn't know I needed until I started using it. So I think that's it for my page. We're just going to do a couple last little... I'm determined to use some of those gold sparkly things just to liven up the page. So it looks more like a Christmas tree, right? So I'm adding a couple little stars like on the top of the sentiment, and I'm just going to add the big star to the tree, and that is about it. Well, I hope that this layout inspires you to use up a couple supplies in the smaller size. I really love the 6x8 layout size. As a card maker and somebody who has a lot of card making supplies, the 6x8 size is pretty perfect for documenting and for using up a few bits of the supplies. So I hope that this inspired you. I would love to see what you do, and if you can make a layout that's similar and what you do. And in the meantime, don't forget to stay crafty.